Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and I hope you're having a wonderful week. Today I'm going to talk about how to forget about your abusive ex and if it's really possible to forget about them. So, let's say you've been betrayed by someone you once loved and they're even moving on with someone new. And the thing is, in the course of the relationship, you had those rare good moments together, those shared experiences, those shared interests, and even brief glimpses of laughter. But of course, most of it was filled with verbal abuse, most of it was filled with emotional abuse. And when you've left that abusive relationship, you begin learning about narcissism, learning about abuse, learning about toxic relationship, learning about manipulative techniques, and you even understand you even understand some manipulative techniques like gaslighting, blame shifting, let's say future faking, projection, and all those other insidious manipulative techniques, most of which you didn't know before. So you didn't know them before, but now after what's happened in that abusive relationship, you now start studying and understanding these things. So the more you study, the more you begin to realize that almost everything which was happening in the relationship, even the things you thought were signs of love or care, was just a facade. Because the more you understand emotional abuse, the more you take your mind back to what they were doing in the relationship, the more you take your mind back to what they were doing to you in the relationship, or the more you take your mind back to what you experienced. Because the more you become aware, the more you try to tie things to, oh yeah, you'll be having these moments of, oh, that was what was happening. So you become aware of the fact that all their lies, all their excuses and jokes, even promises of love, were all like well calculated digs or put downs to keep you stuck in that toxic relationship and to just supply their needs. So you just realize that you were so used in that relationship. So this hurts even more because it makes you feel so stupid, and you might tell yourself things like, how could I fall for their games? How could I not see it coming? So all these leaves you constantly thinking about the past and ruminating about the reality of what you've been through. And that's why that's where people get to the point where you just want to forget about them. You just want to forget about the past. And the thing you might do is you might choose to focus on something else, or you might choose to read some advice which someone tells you, like, when you think, instead of think about them, focus on something else. But you find that it's not really effective. So you may try like keeping yourself busy or jumping into another relationship to help you forget. Or you might even adopt some unhealthy coping mechanisms, like, of course, unconscious drinking or smoking, or just indulging in risky sexual affairs. So you try all these, but all you're still getting triggered. And the thing is, when you get triggered, you remember about your past traumatic experiences with your abusive ex, because a trigger something which is already deep within you. And the other thing is, when we keep ourselves busy or focus on something else, as most people may advise, because we say that when I focus on something else, I forget about them. No, when we do that, we are just putting band aids to the scars. You might think that, of course, it's helping you forget, but actually, on the contrary, it's even giving the past more life in your present life. Let me explain this briefly. So, it's more of the past actions of your abusive ex limiting or dictating the way you live your life now, or the way you live your life presently. So you might think that you are forgetting, but what they did to you is affecting the way you live your life now. Yes, of course, you might think less of them by doing these things, but their seeds are also doing something in your current life. Their past actions have distorted your reality, and they've even affected the quality of your life. So, this wanting to forget or doing things to forget is already affecting the quality of your life. In fact, like, how do I forget about my ex? Or how do I forget about the narcissist? Is one of those commonly asked questions by anyone who's been through like a difficult heartbreak. So what does it really mean? Actually, it's never really about forgetting about the person who caused harm in your life, or about the person who inflicted pain in you, but it's more of letting go of the scars and the baggage they inflicted. So it's not about forgetting about them, it's about letting go of the damage they did in your life. It's about releasing the trauma, because trauma is basically trapped memories and trapped information from the past. It's trapped like from the past painful experience. So when you think about them, it's just triggering those trapped memories or those trapped painful experiences you've already been carrying deep within you, or you are carrying deep within you. So those scars are like actual reminders. So you are carrying those scars deep within you in your subconscious mind. So those scars are more like actual reminders of what happened in the past. That's why you cannot really forget, because you are carrying the scars deep within you. So you cannot really forget about them, or just shove those memories aside, or even pretend that nothing is happening, or pretend that it's not bothering you anymore. No, that's not really possible. And you don't actually have to be bitter or hard on yourself when you think about them or when you obsess about them. But the thing you have to do is you have to just show yourself more compassion and work from and work on freeing yourself from the baggage. So healing is not about forgetting. It's living life in such a way that the past doesn't have a negative effect or doesn't limit your current scope in life. The past doesn't limit your actions, emotions, and thoughts in your present life. It's the point where you might have thoughts about the past. You might think about them sometimes. You might see something which reminds you of them, or even just something which reminds you of the past. But instead of being triggered or feeling bad about yourself or feeling hurt or exhibiting some uncomfortable emotions, you just let those thoughts pass like the wind. Not really logically, no. Just let it pass. It's like just a normal thing in life. And you may even have a slight chuckle, like a slight laughter, as you know that, or as you deeply know that your past memories or your abusive ex doesn't define you as a person. So, in conclusion, like, the greatest barrier to forgetting about your ex actually is you looking for a wrong solution to an underlying problem. It's you thinking that forgetting about them is a logical problem, or is a logical thing which can be solved by logical solutions. Logical solutions here are something like keeping yourself busy, jumping into another relationship. No, it's not that. Here's the thing: your abusive ex distorted your inner belief system, or what you believe about yourself, and even ruin your self-worth and ruin your self-esteem. And that's where you need to focus on. Like, focus on processing and releasing those scars. Focus on processing those and releasing those traumatic memories. And that's the point where you will be free. And when you are free, you've completely forgot about them. In quotes, of course. Like, they will not be bothering you anymore. Their memories, thinking about them, not thinking about them, is just like a normal way of life. So don't distract yourself by looking so much for logical solutions, or looking for so much for how to forget about them. No, that's the worst kind of advice. It's just about working on yourself, healing deeper to the point that you release the pain they've inflicted in you. And of course, as always, if you are ready to forget about them, in quotes, or to live a life instead that your past painful experiences does not affect the way you live your life presently, you can always book a free call with me, and I'll explain to you how I can help you with some great tools called mind shifting. Hope you found that informative. Guys, have a nice day, and feel free to share, subscribe, and comment. And as always, have a nice week.